What can our hobbies tell us about ourselves? If we had to scratch beneath the surface of why people had certain hobbies, then what would we truly find? If someone said to you that their hobby was writing about dark romance, then what could we deduce from that? Because these things are not just a hobby, it's a psychological survival tactic to keep your brain from exploding. To understand why we do what we do, we first have to meet the three roommates living inside our heads. And these three are always fighting for the remote control of your life. First, you have the id. This is the wild, primitive part of you. It's like a toddler with a chainsaw. It wants power, pleasure, and to hit things right now. It has zero filter. Next, you have the superego. This is the strict judge. It's your conscience and all the rules society taught you. It wants you to be perfect and polite at all times. Finally, there's the ego. That's the real you. You're the referee stuck in the middle. Your entire life is just you trying to satisfy that crazy id without making the superego feel guilty. Now, when the fighting between these three gets too loud, the ego creates a peace treaty to keep everyone happy. We call that peace treaty a hobby. To figure out what a hobby says about a person, you just have to follow three logical steps. Step 1 is the switch. In psychology, we call this sublimation. It's when the ego takes a bad urge from the id and gives it a suit, so the superego thinks it's classy. Take a boxer, for example. The id wants to be violent. The superego says, no, that's mean. So the ego joins a gym. Now, the violence is a sport with trophies. That's the switch. Step 2 is the fix. Once the raw urges are handled, the ego uses hobby to fix things we feel insecure about. Look at the marathon runner, for example. If that person feels like a pushover at their 9 to 5 job, they might run 26 miles on the weekend. It's their way of proving to themselves, see, I'm not weak, I'm a machine. Step 3 is control. If the real world feels messy and scary, the ego picks a hobby with strict rules to kill that fear. This is the golfer. Golf has 1,000 tiny rules and a strict dress code. It's the ultimate way to feel like the world is perfect and orderly for 2 hours. It's a shield against the chaos of real life. Because these 3 steps are happening all the time, you can actually read someone's mind just by looking at what they do for fun. Think about the collector, for example, people who hunt for stamps or vintage toys. This could be a defense mechanism against a fear of loss. If they can't control their life, they can at least make sure their collection is complete and safe. Or look at the true crime addict. This could be projection. Maybe people watch the dark side of other people's lives from the safety of their couch so they don't have to face the dark side inside themselves. You don't choose your hobbies. Your ego picks them to stop your id and superego from going to war.